begins. The After Five Diaries. The After Five Diaries.
Hi everyone, this is the After Five Diaries, the talk show where we discuss the hard truth, the hard conversations, and the messy stories of things that happen in your office that people hardly talk about. So this is a show where we're going to have to tell you all that, things happening in your office, things happening in your workplace, amongst your colleagues. So, I don't usually do this alone. I'm your lovely host, Funa. Funa is right here with you, and I'm not doing this alone. I have Ebube with me. Hi, Ebube.
Hi, Fee.
Hi, I must say you look good today.
Thank you.
And
Gracias.
I like the way you lead your hair.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
beautiful.
Thank
People with
you.
natural hair, well, now they do it. So, Ebube, how was the day? What did you do today?
Oh, I had a fantastic day.
Mm.
Yes, I did. First of all, I came from my house, went to
Okay.
church,
Yes.
had a great rehearsal day, and
Interesting.
I danced, I praised God, and
Ebube
yeah.
sings. One of these days, she's going to have to sing for us. She's
Definitely.
going to entertain us with her melodious voice. She sings. That's something I envy about her. Ebube, you need to
Definitely.
teach me how to sing.
It's a gift though.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
The After Five Diaries.
Well, welcome back to the After Five Diaries. So today is special because we have a very compelling and relevant topic, and it's also very sensitive to some people. I'm sure some people they are going to relate to what we're going to say here today. It's going to be very relatable. So I want you to just sit back, relax, listen, while we'll delve into the office space toxicity. Ibri, what do you think? Office space toxicity.
This is a very broad topic.
Yeah.
And I think this relates to everybody, not just the office space, but since we're limiting this to office setting, so it's a very, very broad topic, and I think everyone should listen carefully to this. So some people do not even know that where they're working is toxic, maybe because they kind of use as subtle words for it, but they do not know it's quite deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do agree with you.
And not a lot of people talk about this because people have experienced it, but they do not know it's actually toxic. It ranges from the micromanagement from your boss, making every task feel like a trap. It also ranges from the gossips, the clique forming in the office, the gossip, the late night working, calling you in the middle of the night to do some things when it's already the job says 9 to 5. So the work stops at 5. When work has to exceed and delve into your comfort zone or the time you have for yourself is becoming toxic.
The After Five Diaries.
People experience toxicity in different aspects of their lives, ranging from their relationships, their personal lives, to friendship, to relationships and all that. So we're going to delve into real life stories today. So if you are a 9 to 5 person or you're a corporate person, this conversation is for you. And if you have relatable stories, you can send them to us. We can read it out to people. But let's delve into it. But let's first start with what toxicity is. So Ebube could help us with that. What do you think a toxic office is? What are the signs? Or let's start with the definition first.
Okay, so like I said initially, office toxicity is really deep. But I want to first of all make a definition based on the research that I made. So it says that office toxicity is a chronic negative workplace behavior and attitude that harms morale, productivity, and employee well-being. So first of all, the caveat, or rather the words used here are, it is a kind of negative workplace behavior first. It's a negative attitude, and it harms morale, it harms your productivity, and it harms your employee well-being. So it's not until somebody comes and looks at you and shouts, "Hey, are you mad? Are you stupid?" or use such derogatory remarks.
Person is toxic.
Yes, there are other ways people can be very toxic towards you. So yeah.
So I want to say that there's no paycheck that is worth your peace of mind. I don't know. Considering the economy that we are, I know we're going to just be very neutral on this particular topic because a lot of people cannot walk away because this is the job that pays the bills. Where am I going to? That's why I feel office toxicity is worse than toxic relationships. I feel like in a relationship, someone has a choice of walking away, right? But in an office, this is where if you leave, who is going to pay your bills? How will the month or how will the money come in at the end of the month? So you have to keep going there. You know, when you feel a churn in your stomach and you wake up in the morning and you want to go to work and you're so unhappy. Once you come back home is a relief, and when you have to wake up the next morning, it's so much bitterness, so much anger, so much, oh god, it's like, why do I have to go into this place? When you have to think twice as to why you have to go into work, just know your office is toxic.
The After 5 Diaries.
Let's start from here. Okay, so let's look at those signs of a toxic workplace. So if you're experiencing things like this in your workplace, just know you're working in a toxic environment. One is micromanagement.
Oh yeah.
Micromanagement has to do with your bosses. So because it's someone who manages you, that it's your boss that manages you. So signs of micromanagement, signs of favoritism. You know, your boss has people who are their favorite staff. You know, I don't know. A lot of people in 9 to 5, they experience that. Bosses, oh, this is the person they assign all the tasks to and stuff like that. You're secluded in your workplace because people probably do not like you. So I don't know if you've seen instances of this or if you've had people experience micromanaging bosses.
Okay, I would want to use one of my past experiences while working for a certain place.
Yeah,
all right.
course.
So you see that word micromanagement. It is. First of all, some people do not like micromanagement. Like me, for instance, I do not like it. I know that I can get the job done.
Yeah, of course.
And I won't want a situation where somebody will come and say, oh, maybe, for instance, now you're my boss, you give me a task. It is expected that you should trust me to accomplish it. Besides, I've worked with you a couple of while. So I wouldn't like a situation where you come and tell me, okay, do it like this. And then every 5 seconds, you are monitoring my movement to ensure that, have you put this? Have you put this? Without entrusting me with the ability to finish this task the right way. So I coming from a previous place, I think I had that experience, and it was really not productive on my part. It even forestalled my ability to be creative, because I'm like, oh, okay, I just didn't want anything to have to annoy my boss. Like,
you're working on eggshells.
Exactly. So that I believe that yes, sometimes you can micromanage people, particularly when you know that they're not doing or they're not meeting standard, but do it with principle and let them know that, okay, I need you to not
you're just there to guide me, not like you're teaching me what to do.
Exactly.
So micromanaging from bosses could also mean that your boss do not trust you to do a particular task.
True.
He's also looking, you're working, looking over your shoulders. You're working with fear. Oh God, I don't want to fail. I have to please this guy. I have to satisfy this guy, because if there's any single mistake, you're going to be yelled at, spoken down on and stuff like that. So when you're working under a boss who micromanages you, you're not going to be productive at work as a 9 to 5 person, as a corporate person. So when you begin to see signs like this from your boss, just know that you are working in a toxic environment, and things like this can be discussed. Things like this can be talked about. Sarah, I'll tell Mara. You can have a conversations with your bosses, right? So I don't like the fact that you don't think I can do this. I don't like the fact that you don't think I can deliver on this task. You gave it to me. Allow me to do it. It could range from emails, exposing me in public emails where people are copied, external people are copied, you're shouting down on me in external emails, things like that. So there are things people experience in the office. So if you have a boss who micromanages you, I think you as a person should always try to deliver, as a person in the office, try to deliver and meet the expectations. So, but that's not a good place to work. When you work in fear and trembling, oh God, I don't want to fail my boss. I don't want to disappoint my boss and stuff like that. So micromanagement is very bad, especially when the boss has favorites in the office. If your boss is a person who they always call for tasks, micromanagement can also involve you not being sent on assignments and tasks. There's something to be done, something as minute as running errands, or they always call one particular person. Because they believe this person is very productive. You don't see your worth in that office. You're just like a bench warmer. I think when you work in places like that where you're micromanaged, you're working in a toxic environment. That's very toxic. And things like this can be overcome, or they can be curbed with having like honest conversation.
The After Five Diaries.
So another sign of a toxic place is, having cliques and gossips. This is the killer. It is the killer.
Very.
There are offices where you just have, a group of friends. There are 4 people here, 3 people here, 2 people at the other side. You're forming cliques and gossiping, talking about a particular person. And this could be as a result of jealousy. This person is so bright, maybe very good looking, good at their job and stuff like that. And you notice people forming cliques and talking about it.
Okay, now I have a very serious issue with cliques, because you having a clique, for instance, if you have maybe if you really like this person as maybe is your go-to person at the office, it's very important for you to have a go-to person at the office. So if you have somebody like that and you guys are good friends and it's just vibes and she helps you, he helps you, or that kind of thing, that's fine. But then it kind of click where you see a group of girls and then you just want to be amongst them. I feel that screams serious insecurity. Serious insecurity. Totally. And you just want to be among, and you don't even I feel like you're not finding yourself, and that's like,
you don't even know the foundation of the clique.
Serious identity crisis.
Yeah, of course. That's
what I say that. So and the person that is now trying to form a clique, or rather be amongst a clique, and I don't know, that person will actually be thinking low of his or herself. So it's not ideal per se. And then particularly when you have a clique now that all they do is just gossip about this person, see the way they're giving this person this particular job, it's not meant to be that way. And then you guys start sowing seeds of discord among yourselves, and I don't know, it doesn't always end well. It never ends well.
That's a toxic workplace. If you walk into your office, like you come to work and people were discussing in loud voices before, and then when you walk in, everybody's voice reduces. They start whispering. You don't belong there. So places like that, they could probably be talking about you because I've said it before. It's probably because you're good, the boss likes you, you're the one who's in the forefront of everything and all that. They feel like, you're secluded. This is the rats, or what's the word now? This is the bad egg.
I don't know exactly.
You don't align with their values. You don't align with these people. This is the person who goes to the boss to talk. Those are toxic workplaces. So I do have a story. One of the horror stories we're going to read today. Someone in the story experienced something similar. So when you notice that your colleagues are always gossiping, this is not a good place to work at all. Like, when you wake up in the morning, you should be excited. Of course, I know it's work, but some people get excited when they want to go into work. I'm going to work again. And the office is friendly. People love me. I love my job, even though it gets stressful at times. Of course, it pays the bills. But when you have a different feeling, when the feeling is not like that, when the feeling is opposites of excitement or happiness walking to the office, you're not happy at all. Besides the stress, some people can just be stressed, right? And not because of the people they work with, right? When you have an opposite feeling from what I just mentioned, just know you're working in a toxic place. And a lot of people feel that way. So gossiping is a killer, right? When you work with colleagues that gossip.
The After Five Diaries.
So apart from the gossip, we need to talk about the way people speak, passive aggressive communication as well. So if you have colleagues or bosses that always yell when they are communicating, they yell when they speak, they yell in their emails, they yell everywhere, they talk in caps. There's a way you talk in capital letters. They are yelling.
I have an issue with people that are always like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel most of them have personal issues. If you have personal issues, maybe from your home, or maybe somebody annoyed you, I mean, you don't have to take it out on somebody. It's like you said, aggressiveness, like, when you're writing in caps, it's like a shouting at the person.
Yeah.
So aggressive, you shouldn't be aggressive. I mean, it's even when there are certain issues that that can actually be resolved. There are ways to talk to people. You don't have to raise your voice. It's an office setting. There are rules, there are morals available there. And I have an issue with people that just shout unnecessarily. If you were raised, sorry to use that word, but if you were raised in a certain way, it doesn't make you right for you to, treat someone else that way. I mean, it's wrong. Nobody's a goat.
Yeah, of course. You know, there's something they usually say at my office. If there's a personal problem you have from home, because a lot of things could bring about this, maybe
Yeah.
personal issues that you have at home, you bring it to your work and it affects your colleagues and all that. So I know I used to have a boss who says, if you have a personal problem, please drop it at the door. We've
Exactly.
come to the office. We are here to work. We're here to
Exactly.
work for our employer, people that pay our bills, people that pay our salaries. So just put it behind the door. So once you're leaving, you pick it back up and take it to your
Yeah.
house. So the workplace is not a place to bring your personal issues. Even if you've had issues with people in the workplace, the job comes first.
Exactly.
It depends on the kind of whatever situation or whatever institution you found yourself. I know you have customers, you have clients that you attend to. The job and the clients come first. Besides you, of course, you're still very important. I'm talking about office relationships here. So if you have personal problems with people, I think you should keep them aside and do not take them out on your colleagues or on your subordinates at work or the people that you report to. So passive aggressive communications are one of the signs or is one of the signs of a toxic workplace.
Yeah.
Something else that we need to delve into is overwork with no boundaries.
Oh.
Working with no boundaries.
Work.
Working. Your job is your entire life. We're going to discuss that in work-life balance. That's our next topic that we're going to take care of after now. So you overwork yourself. Your bosses or your workplace do not know where to draw the boundaries. It's called 9 to 5 for a reason,
Exactly.
right? It's called 8 to 5. Ideally, it's 8 to 5 for some people and others 9 to 5. So 9 to 5. So you own me from 9 or 8 to 5. After 5, I own myself back.
However, I understand that there are some certain kind of jobs that will
Yeah.
still require to work overtime.
Yeah.
But wisdom must be applied there.
Of course.
First of all, you should know the dangers of overworking yourself. You know, it can lead to several health challenges, particularly HBP, which is high blood pressure. So you don't want to be found in such situations.
Yeah.
And talking about the having a 9 to 5, like you said, 9 to 5 should be 9 to 5. However, if you have maybe if your boss asks you to do certain things, of course, maybe because it's a pending issue that the customer needs to be resolved. I mean, it needs resolution immediately. So you don't just say that okay, I'm just gonna. But it just, what I'm trying to say is that wisdom just has to be applied in that stead. But still, I'm also against bringing your work from the office exactly to the house. I feel family time should be family time. Office time should be office time. You shouldn't let your children, if you're married, or your spouse have to say, honey, you don't have my time. I don't have your time, that kind of thing. So there should be a boundary. And if most bosses, what they do is that when they find out that, oh, I'm always giving you work and you're always accepting it, they will give you more work.
They keep giving you,
They will give you more work. And you say, yes, ma, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And you keep attending to it because you are the good colleague.
Exactly.
The good colleague who always answers to everybody's call.
Exactly.
So, but like I said, it still boils down to kind of organization where you work. There are organizations that you have to like be on top of your game every time, and some things could go wrong if you don't answer. So, like she said, you have to do with discretion, do with wisdom and discretion. So, you just need to seclude or extract your work life from your personal life. So like I said, it's 9 to 5 for a reason. Do not overwork yourself. But even if you have to, don't do it because you're compelled to. You're doing it because you want to render help, and this is who you are. You always want to solve issues, resolve problems and all that. Just do it because you love doing it, not because you're doing it on a compulsion or you're compelled to do it. So let's talk about the enablers of toxic environments. I feel like organizations enable toxicity. Organizations enable toxicity because if someone is constantly toxic, an individual, a boss is constantly toxic and nothing is done about it, especially when people have whistleblown or reported and nothing is done, that's enabling. Honestly, organizations enable toxic environments.
I concur to that. And most times you find out that they are usually the top people. When I mean top people, I mean top management. Okay, when this particular person knows that, oh, this person is a problem in a particular place, and a lot of subordinates have reported this top person to you as a senior person. So it's left for you to, take responsibility, and either you caution or you reprimand that top manager. But sometimes, like you said, where subordinates reports and then nothing is being done because it's a
What do you
top senior
expect them to
person.
do?
I mean, that's wrong. That's like you said, it's enabling, and it's a wrong environment to be in.
Yeah. So let's also discuss organizations that do not really like they recruit poor leaders, people who are poor in character, poor in outlook, poor in everything. I'm speaking in the real sense of it. I feel like when you need to recruit people who are coming to take leadership roles, you need to evaluate them to a certain level. Evaluate this what's the word now? Their psych,
Exactly.
evaluates everything, right?
Very
Evaluates
important.
how they've worked their former workplaces, gets feedbacks from their former bosses or people they've worked with in the past because they are coming to take leadership roles. And leadership roles do not just it doesn't just boil down to results, it also boils down to their relationships with people. So organizations should try not to enable toxic people. You know, most people that are toxic are mainly leaders, people who are in leadership roles.
The After Five Diaries.
Welcome back, you guys. So we're talking about office-based toxicity, and this is the After Five Diaries. I'm Funa. Ebuba, you still with me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so before we went on that break, we're talking about enablers of toxicity. So we've talked about poor leadership or unclear rules. We also have stuff like factors like cultural mismatch. We have pressure focused environments, especially with sales, startups, and all that. Fear based management, right? We also have insecurity breeding competition instead of collaboration. We've said that a lot, and we don't want to overflow that. Okay, so I have real life stories. I have real life stories of office toxicity, real life stories of people who were really, really working in toxic environments that led to their resignation, led to their mental health instability, and all that. So let's delve into it. Let's call the story the unseen sabotage because these are real life stories. Let's reiterate that this is real life. It actually happened to some people. They sent in their stories of things that they've experienced. Aisha has been thrilled to land her marketing role at XYZ Limited, a seemingly trendy tech firm in Lekki Phase 1. The first few months were great. She was hitting her targets. Her ideas were well received by her line manager, Mr. David, and she enjoyed the initial praises. Then subtly, things started to shift. It began in the team's meetings. Whenever Aisha presented a new campaign idea, Funke, a senior colleague who had been in the company longer, would often interject with comments like, "Oh, we tried something similar a few years ago. It didn't quite take off," or "That's ambitious." The Lagos market is very specific, you know. It was always delivered with a smile, making it hard to label it as outright criticism, yet it consistently deflated Aisha's contributions. Soon, Aisha noticed that tasks she thought were her responsibility were being quietly reassigned to Funke by Mr. David. Often, after Funke had had a quick chat with him behind closed doors. When Aisha once tried to discuss a project directly with Mr. David, he seemed preoccupied and said, "Just run it by Funke first. She has the historical context." The real sting came during the quarterly review. Despite positive client feedback Aisha had personally received, her performance report, heavily influenced by Mr. David and Funke's inputs, painted her as lacking initiative and struggling to integrate with established processes. She overheard Funke later that day by the water cooler, telling another colleague, "Some people just come in here thinking they know everything. This place needs to experience, not just flashy ideas." Aisha started dreading Mondays. The bright, open plan office now felt suffocating. There were no loud arguments or dramatic confrontations, just a persistent, undermining current that made her doubt her abilities and question her future at the company. The toxicity wasn't in shouting matches, but in quiet, smiling sabotage and a subtle exclusion that slowly eroded her confidence and passion for the job. It's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be people yelling at you. "Oh, you did this. Actually, you did that." It's all those side talks, all those side conversations, all those side comments that people make. "Oh, with a smile. You notice how Funke was smiling. Oh, we don't do that here. We don't do that here." You know, eroding her own abilities, right? Stuff like that. So we said that overflog this, and this is a real life story of how it happened to a particular person. So we have another story. Do you want to take that?
Oh, yes.
The whispering campaign and the breakdown. So we'll take that first.
Okay. So this second story, Mark was a senior analyst at a financial firm known for his meticulous work. A new VP joined the team and seemed to take an immediate dislike to Mark for reasons no one could quite pinpoint. It started subtly. Mark's ideas were dismissed in meetings, his emails went unanswered, and he was excluded from key projects. Then came the whispers. Rumors started circulating about his performance, his attitude, and even his personal life. Mark felt increasingly isolated and paranoid. He would walk into the room and sense colleagues abruptly stopping their conversations. The VP began assigning him impossible deadlines and then used his failure to meet them as a proof of his incompetence. The constant pressure and social isolation took a severe toll. Mark, usually a confident and outgoing person, became withdrawn and anxious. He started having panic attacks before work and difficulty sleeping. One morning, he broke down in tears at his desk, unable to face another day. He was eventually diagnosed with severe anxiety and depression and took a leave of absence. He never returned to the company. The experience having completely shattered his trust and sense of professional identity. So, as you can see in this statement here, he had anxiety and depression. Toxicity definitely can lead to depression and anxiety if not handled properly.
You know, I keep saying this, toxic workplaces are worse than toxic relationships. I have to say it. In toxic relationship, you have a choice to walk away because what could happen? You find love again and stuff. Of course, I know you say you find another job, but your job is the place that pays your bills. You have to keep going because if you quit, what happens to the money that comes in at the end of every month? So you see what toxicity can cost to people. So if you're a listener today, you're in a toxic environment, or you happen to be a toxic person. Maybe you don't know you're toxic. With the things you do, the remarks or the statements you make at work, the way you talk to your colleagues, you feel that, oh, that's the way I talk. That's the way I express myself. Don't worry. I'm not being bitter towards you. I'm not angry. This is just the way I talk. These are the signs. You don't know. You have no idea what your statements and your talks do to people. So no, you have to look at the signs. We've talked about so many things here today. What they do, what they say, how they talk behind you, what you do. Maybe you don't know you're toxic, but these are the things. When you notice that you're always talking down on people, you don't see the good in what people do. You have criticisms, they are not constructive, you just want to say stuff, you see bad, you don't commend people. You're a toxic person.
After 5 Diaries.
So if you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and engage. Put your comments in there in the comment section. Tell us how you enjoy what we're talking about. Tell us how it has affected you in the comment section. I would appreciate your engagement. I would appreciate your likes, your comments, to show that you're actually watching me and enjoying this. So before we left, we read a story about Mark and how he fell into depression and mental instability. So this happens in the offices, Ebube. This happens. People do not know that they actually, personally, they are toxic. They don't know. They make comments like, "Oh, this is how I talk." I don't take it personal. This is how I talk. No, different people have their level of emotional maturity.
Exactly.
It's not everybody that can take jabs. It's not everybody that can take jests. It's not everybody that will appreciate being spoken to in a certain manner. So you need to look inwards, evaluate yourself personally. Just try and check if there are ways that your statements and your comments affect people in your office and your workplace, especially if you are a leader. Or you happen to head a team, all right, and you have subordinates, especially young people who maybe Gen Zs, younger generation, young people who work under you. You don't know how things affect them
emotionally. So I also want to add that having, if you know you're the kind of person that is always, oh, I want to say it as it is, I want to say it as it is, remember to always apply emotional intelligence. It's not everybody that can take the heat. And do not be the kind of person where you have about 5 people, for instance, saying a particular thing about you. Don't say, oh, this is how I am. This is how I am. I know I'm like, I know myself. You are toxic.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I'll tell you. Ensure that the Bible says it clearly that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, the truth is established.
Absolutely.
So 5 people hammering on one thing cannot be wrong. There's an iota of truth there. So you really need to sit back and relax and ask yourself this question. Okay, where am I going wrong? What is it that I've said? Then you could actually go further in asking, other people, oh, is this true about me? Have I ever spoken
Exactly.
anything wrong about it? Then look for ways to change.
Mhm.
We have brains, and God has made our brain in a way that what we learn, we can unlearn. Maybe it was a bad setting. Maybe because of the way we were brought up. Maybe because of a certain situation that we just stepped out from. Maybe we've not totally healed from. So you don't transfer such toxicity
Aggression,
and aggression to somebody else. So please do not be the kind of person that says, this is how I am. Excuse me, you are not like that. There is room for improvement. We keep changing. We keep developing ourselves. So also, if you're a recipient of such aggression, or if somebody's being toxic towards you in their words per se, first of all, you should have an understanding that you are not them. I would say, first of all, empathize. I'm not saying you should, say, hey, this is how the person is, so therefore accept. No. Just first of all, just say that, okay, this is not true about me. For instance, if somebody is telling you, oh, you're crazy, are you stupid? First of all, realize that you're not a stupid person. You're not stupid. It's just like now, a mad person approaches you on the road, and then the madman is telling you, you are mad. And you, in your right frame of mind, you know that you are not mad, but rather the person is mad. So take it that way, so you don't react to certain situations and lose yourself.
It's about
in the
them,
bargain.
not you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I wanted to throw light on.
Oh, that's a thank you, everybody. So I want to also say that people who have seen themselves having issues with their psyche, mental instability, like we saw in Mark earlier, that checked himself, had to quit his job. We need to understand that in this part of the world, we don't really believe in therapy, right? Therapy costs money, by the way, right?
Serious money.
Nobody is willing to go and pay money to talk to somebody about my problems. People seldom or hardly do that in Nigeria, in this part of the world. So even therapists in Nigeria, I don't think they're getting enough customers because they themselves, they need therapy. Right? You know, there are so many memes about therapy and all that when I heard about a story. So let's not get into that. So what I'm trying to say is that therapy, people do not believe in therapy in this side of the world. So if someone is already into depression, you don't want them to think that this office made me this way or this particular person made me this way. I shiver, I get scared, I feel this way when I'm going into this office because of this particular person. You don't want someone to see you that way. I'm scared of you. I don't want to engage you because this is what you do to my psyche. This is what you do to my mental health. Don't be that person I'll remember and I'm fidgeting. I'm so scared. I can't approach you and stuff like that. So we need to delve into how we can curb this. How do we break the cycle? What can people do if they found themselves in toxic environments, toxic offices, they work with toxic colleagues, toxic bosses? What do we do? First, we need to set boundaries because there are people you're already in, you can't get out because we can't tell you to quit your job. No, we can't tell you to quit your. It's the country. We know this is the job that pays your bills. This is the job that puts food on the table. You can't just quit. It's only quitting should be like the last option.
Yeah.
And quitting should come after maybe you found alternatives to what you're currently doing.
Very important.
So let's start with you breaking the boundaries. How do we go about breaking the boundaries? Just know when to differentiate work and friendship. Shall I put it that way?
Very important.
I don't think your workplace is a place where you make friends.
Exactly.
You were employed for a reason. Stick to the reason why your recruiter recruited you. So do your job and get out. Do not let things affect you. That's setting boundaries. Do not let things get to you. Do not take things personal, right? I know people do not have the same emotional maturity and capacity, right? So do not let things affect you as a human being. If you have a toxic boss, apart from having conversations and sitting down with them and telling them that this is what they do and how it affects you, learn how to set boundaries. Don't go to the office to make friends. It's only when you begin to deviate from the core reason why you were employed and recruited, that's when things begin to affect you. If you know that you're employed by this organization, this is my job, you're in customer service, you're a salesperson, or you're in administration, or you're just, depending on what your job role is, go there and do your administration role. Go there, attend to the customers. That's what I'm here for. I don't see you. What you're doing do not affect me. That's for you. That's your problem. So I'm just here to do what I'm paid for. So learn how to set boundaries. Learn how to differentiate between work, friendship, pleasure, and all that. So I promise you, nothing will affect you.
Okay.
Learn how to create boundaries.
Yeah. Can I also add something? I know that there are some cases now, some persons now be wondering, how would you say, oh, don't make friendship or something like that. So what she's trying to say in particular is that you are in an office setting is an office setting.
Yeah.
So don't make it like it's your family,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. Let me give you an example of what she's saying. In UK, for instance, they have a very, very strict corporate policy whereby even if this person, in quote, is your friend, oh, I used to share family matters with this person. If you do anything, they will report you straight up. And to use like betrayal.
Yeah.
Hello, it's no, it's that's how it is over there. You can actually testify as a viewer. Just ask some certain persons. That's how serious they take their work. So I know that in Nigeria per se, I know that we tend to make friendship very close allies, and you know, maybe based on, okay, this person understands me, this person has helped me a lot in my place of work, and I mean on a particular job function. It is important, and there are some times too that you could actually confide in some persons, but you still have to have restriction on that aspect. So you have to set boundaries, just as Funa has said. Set boundaries. Boundaries are really important.
The After Five Diaries.
For the leaders and the people, staff in leadership roles, you should promote transparency amongst your colleagues or amongst your subordinates. Learn how to also take feedback from them. You know, there's something my boss usually does. I have to just say, there's something my boss does at work. He usually like comes once in a while. He asks question. What do you think of me as a boss?
Oh,
yeah, he does that.
nice.
Actually, he does that. What do you think? How do you think I handled that the previous time? Am I a good boss? That's feedback.
Wow.
You take feedback from your colleagues or from your staff. That's very beautiful. And we are allowed to speak freely when he asks us questions like that. I said, "Sir, can I speak freely?" Of course. So I don't like what you did that last time, the way you handled that. Yeah, and he said, okay, you know, as a boss, you know, you just be telling you, he'll give you reasons as to why he did it. So I say that's something that bosses can emulate, bosses can do in their workplaces. Get feedback from your subordinates, get feedback from your staff. Let them rate you. Right. Besides, even your staff has to do your appraisal at the end of the day.
Exactly.
They see your staff. So just besides the appraisal time, because which happens quarterly, annually, every 6 months, biannually. So you can also get that from them. Have verbal conversations with the people that work with you. Let them rate you to know how you perform as a boss. So you should also like model healthy behavior, because people copy what they see. But like your kids in the office, you know, the office is like your family. I don't know. I don't want to call it family. Let me not be too direct that way. But the people you spend your entire time with. People say we live at the office and work at home. What how they say that?
I'm not too
We
familiar with
live
that word.
in the office and go home. I'm trying. I'm not putting it right. It's almost like we spend our entire time in the office. These are the people you work with. So our bosses are like the parents that we look up to. So we try to model their behaviors. So we see what you do. We're just like kids in the family. They see what the parents do and they copy. Kids are copycats. So if I notice that my boss is a perpetual latecomer,
it's a rubber for you.
it's a rubber for me. Yeah. If I notice my boss, this is what he does, of course I can get away with it. He cannot yell at me because this is what he does. Even you as a boss, you would not have the mind.
And then
Exactly.
and then when your subordinate is now coming late, you won't even have the mind to even say, oh, you came late.
Yeah.
You're also part of it.
Exactly. So they do with so much confidence. After my boss will not even be in the office by the time I get there. So as a boss, model behaviors like that, good behaviors that your subordinates can copy from. Not the bad ones, please. If you're a bad boss, your subordinates will be bad. If you're a good boss, they will try and strive to be good. So at the same time, as colleagues or as 9 to 5 people, organizations should encourage escalations and documentations. Right? So if you don't document things that happen to you at work, you don't have proof. Right? I'm not saying you should snitch on your colleagues. No, that's not snitching. Report them. We have whistleblowing portals. A lot of organizations, they have portals where you whistleblow. Go there, complain. Tell them that this is what's going on. Escalate. Escalate. If your team lead is being bossy, is being a bully, if your team lead is being toxic, escalate to your line manager. If your line manager is being toxic, escalate to the next
Human
level
resource.
person, human resources. They are there to protect you.
Yeah.
So escalation should work. And as organizations, look into the escalation.
Yeah.
People have escalated and reported a particular person for a
Mhm.
long time. Look into it as human resources. Do not
Exactly.
ignore.
Exactly. So I feel that also as a human resource personnel, if you know that a particular person has been reported to you on countless occasions, and you know that you've done your best to try to reprimand this person, and this person is still not changing, then sorry to sound harsh, but you have to, take the necessary step, which is
Yeah.
let go. I mean, if you know that is when you know you've done all that you can to do,
And nothing happens.
and nothing happens. So let go, because the person cannot be the problem in your organization, and you know it and you see it, and people are being depressed at work. If people are depressed at work, your organization cannot grow, because if people are not happy, I mean, why are they coming to work? And things will not go on smoothly in your organization. So I think that should be the last resort.
Yeah, of course.
For such
scenarios.
Yes.
So escalation portals should also be completely anonymous, because I know people, they'll assure you, oh, we should reports. Don't worry, it's anonymous. And then your name shows, your email address shows that you're the one that escalated.
Can I also say something? Sometimes they'll even tell you it's anonymous, but then you should also remember that IT guys are also working on the back end.
They see
and exactly,
they know who logged into the system.
Exactly. So how do you now curb against such? How do you curb against such? That means that these IT personnel, they have to sign a confidentiality agreement.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Absolutely.
So that's it.
So it should be anonymous as much as possible. Organizations should not enable these behaviors. If you notice that a certain person has been reported several times by different people, call these people. You can even change their teams.
Exactly.
If you feel that is a very result-driven person and you cannot afford to lose them, you can change their teams, move them somewhere else. You can reprimand them, you can suspend them. Organizations, they tend to, this is a result-driven person, this is a performer. That's the word they use. This is a performer. We can't afford to let go of this person. This person is toxic. You're enabling them. They know you can't do it.
I would even add, make the person stand alone as it.
Exactly.
Let them be the head of the department. Let them be the supervisor. Let them be the subordinate. Only them. Do not allow the person destroy other people emotionally because they're trying to get the job done.
Absolutely.
Life is there are too many challenges in life for you to now start, disturbing another person.
Organizations are the people that can help with this whole office space toxicity. Organizations, human resources, this is where you need to wear your cap, wear your horn, get to work, do everything that you can, right, to curb this. There's so much toxicity in the office spaces that we need to look at, we need to look into, have feedbacks, get feedbacks, organize workshops, trainings. You can have trainings, you can have psychological people in mental health come to talk to people at work. You can have workshops like this. It will help. Give people the ability and the wings to fly, the ability to speak up when they are being bullied. Bullying is terrible. I personally hate bullying. I hate bullies. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to use the word hate. I don't like bullying. It irks me. It gets to me because I don't like people being downtrodden, like treated like they're nothing. So give people the voice to speak out. Do not let them get scared. Operate open door policies. We didn't say that. Open door policies. People can walk in and say, this is what's going on in my team. This is what's going on in my office. This is what my colleague is doing to me. Look into this. So organizations will really, 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 they have a big role to play in this. Human resources in organizations. So if you put all these things in place, there's no way bullying and toxicity will not be curbed or will not be taken out. So I know you can't completely wipe it off, but you can do a lot. There's so much you can do to keep it reduced, as to people not to go into depression because of their workplaces. So you should also create rooms for accountability channels that we've just talked about. Build inclusive, value-based culture. Then managers should model and encourage feedback. Very important. And as a staff, as a subordinate, or as a 9 to 5 person, you should also know when to fight back as a person, and you also know when to leave. When you think you've done everything that you can and it persists, then it's time to look for another job.
Important.
What do you think? You can't keep being there. There's no paycheck that is worth your peace of mind. Really.
Bless you.
There's no paycheck worth your mind, your peace of mind, and your peace and everything. So know when to leave.
Right.
Ibube, how's it been?
So it's been fantastic.
So
It's been fantastic.
it's been fantastic. I hope we've been able to convince you and educate you.
The After Five Diaries.
Keep it with us. By the time we come back next, we'll be talking about something else very juicy and very, very, very relevant. Because everything we bring to you guys, will be relevant. There are things that you have experienced or people that you know have experienced. Okay, thank you for listening. Thank you for staying tuned. Do not forget to subscribe. That's very important. Ebube, tell our viewers to subscribe.
Please, if you're yet to subscribe to this platform, please do so. Kindly subscribe and like. Ensure you like, because when you like, the more you like a video, the more YouTube, introduces it to more people and the more views it gets. So please
Exactly.
subscribe, like, share.
And engage.
Very important.
Very important. I would like to see your beautiful comments out there. Go to the comment section. I would like to see your thoughts and what you think about what we've said. I would want to see your comments. It's going to make me happy. Thank you so much. This is the After Five Diaries. I'm signing out. My name is Funa.
My name is Ibuyano. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.